Hear me out. You're not cursed in love. You just keep choosing what feels familiar over what feels good. Hi, I'm Gabby Roberts. Welcome back to the Grow with Gabby podcast. And around here, we talk about a lot of nervous system regulation, self-trust, love, trauma healing, building a life and relationship that feel like home. And today, our episode is all about how you don't attract emotionally unavailable people. You choose them. And hear me out, because today's episode is something that a lot of us have struggled with. Why we keep ending up with these people who don't care about us or meet us where we're at. They aren't choosing us. They're not loving us the way that we deserve. But before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe and follow button so you never miss another podcast episode. If you need to pause me, go grab your journal. I got some journal prompts for you at the end of this episode, so take notes. We're about to dive in. Look, we've all said it. Why do I keep attracting these emotionally unavailable people? And the truth is, you're not attracting them. You're choosing them. And hear me out. I know you're probably sitting here being like, oh my God, what is wrong with me? Nothing. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. You're just choosing what is familiar. And your nervous system doesn't care about your dream partner. Your nervous system cares about what feels safe, even if it's unhealthy. So this is about patterns, not punishment. Again, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken for choosing these unavailable people. Okay. So part one, let's talk a little bit about familiar versus aligned. Because again, your nervous system will go back to what it knows. It loves predictability. And yes, sometimes you're in a relationship that it's not in a good place, but you know you're going to fight, you're going to argue, you're going to make up, repeat, right? That's predictable. So your nervous system may stay in that place because that is more safe to it rather than finding something new. New, most of the time, is very foreign to our nervous system. We don't like it. It doesn't like that thing. It's like, death, right? So we realize that oftentimes we confuse the chaos and the passion, the adrenaline rush with love, but that's not love. That's dysregulation. And I've talked about this on my other podcast episodes, talking about how love, true, actual love, not lust, not attachment, feels safe and calm, and it does not disrupt your nervous system. So if you grew up with love that was completely inconsistent, emotionally distant, or conditional, it's a big one, that's what your body is going to remember as normal. So when you go out and you make these connections with these people, you're going and finding those people who feel familiar to the toxicity that you had growing up. So again, I'll say this so many times, you're not broken. I thought for so long that there was something wrong with me, genuinely. So when love finally did come along, my body was like, no, that's boring. That's not normal. Where's the passion? I don't understand. It genuinely felt boring at first. And you're not addicted to the person. You're addicted to the hope that this time maybe it'll be different, that maybe this one will finally see me for who I really am. But most times we chalk it up to, well, this is just my type. No, that's not true. This has been your template. This is what you've known. This is what has been familiar, but that doesn't mean that this is your specific type. It doesn't mean you're doomed forever. It doesn't mean you're cursed. It means that you know what's familiar and your body will fight the new with everything it has. So again, that alignment sometimes can feel really foreign at first when you meet a good partner or when you meet somebody new. So you have to be very, very aware of your patterns, and what you want. Okay. So let's move into part two. You're not broken. Okay. I'm going to sound like a broken record here because this is something that needs to be said over and over and over again. So you can let that inner critic in your head just take a back seat. Okay. Because you're patterned. You are conditioned. You're not broken. It's happened from years and years of watching and experiencing the same things. Okay. You're not bad at love. When you seek a partner that you hope to fulfill these unhealed parts of you, that's hard to do when all you know is yelling and screaming and gaslighting and manipulation. And sometimes the fighting isn't these big booms, these big, he put me in the hospital kind of fight. They can be small, but that still means that it's dysregulation. It's still, if it doesn't align, you kind of know. And that's why it hasn't worked out with other people, because you realize, oh, it was never meant to work with them. And your nervous system is literally wired to choose what it knows, even if that thing is not good for you. So you have to just be really aware. Hey, am I repeating a pattern here, or am I actually starting a new relationship that with a person who loves me and sees me for who I am? Okay? That's why sometimes we beat ourselves up because we're like, damn, I literally was raised by a narcissist. How did I get into a relationship with this narcissist, right? And you're like, I should have known better. But your mind still ends up in the same dynamic. Why? Because your mind, you can't just like be like, cool, I choose this person full of healthy. That it's going to go against everything your body knows. Like, come on. It's going to be like, no. So it might still end up in the same dynamic, but you just have to be aware until you regulate and really come to terms with your nervous system and your inner child. It's going to call the shots. It always does. Your logic brain doesn't run the show, unfortunately. Your emotions and your feelings and your patterns and your nervous system do. That's why when you walk in a room and your body all of a sudden just spikes with anxiety and your brain's like, I have no idea what's going on. I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on. La, la, la. Your body goes, I do. Because I'm always taking notes. Your nervous system's always taking notes. Even the little subtle things that you say yes to when you wanted to say no, it remembers those things. Those are the patterns. Those are the things that are repeating now, okay? So it's not shameful here. It's not like, oh my God, what is wrong with me? It's simply, I'm human. I was conditioned to want this thing. Now I realize I don't want that thing. Now I need to uncondition myself out of it, okay? It's fixable. It really is. So that moves us into part 3 here is how to start choosing differently. Because if you know what you don't want, but you have no idea how to get what you want, you just have to start learning to, 1, stop blaming yourself, and 2, create new outcomes that you want. Okay? So regulate is going to be the most important part. Like regulation, your nervous system, calming the body. If you're like, what does the word regulation mean? What is this? It means just bringing your body from that go, 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 the fight or flight, to the rest and digest, calm and collected. Okay. So before you go trying to find somebody, just center yourself, get really calm, get really clear on what I want. How can I go bring this into my life? You don't have to go swipe left and right when you're lonely. You don't have to text back those people you don't really want to talk to when you're anxious. You don't need to do any of that. You just need to calm your nervous system and realize, okay, if I'm calm, if I know what I want, and I'm emotionally aware of my patterns, then I can work on breaking those patterns and finding somebody who truly does love me and see me for who I am. Now, there's going to be times where you get in a good relationship and still there's some things that will trigger you, or things feel off, things don't feel normal, quote unquote. Okay, that's okay. Because if your normal is chaos, that's a good thing. Give yourself a little pat on the back that you chose someone who's actually calm and good for the nervous system. Remember, love is calm. Love is, dare I say, from someone who's been wired to crave that chaos, love can be a little boring. And that's okay. I would much rather have calm and boring than ever go back to what I had before. The yelling, the screaming, the gaslighting, the manipulation, like the abuse. Horrible. So focus on yourself. There's no rush. And besides, imagine this. You're rushing yourself into finding a partner and then you fuck it up because you're picking fights and shutting down and you're not ready because your nervous system doesn't feel safe. Okay, so notice what does feel safe to me. What does home feel like? What does safety feel like? Ask yourself genuinely, does this feel exciting because it's real and someone is seeing me for the first time? Like, yay. Or does this feel exciting because it's familiar? There's so many times we talk about these butterflies in your stomach, right? But for me, at least personally, and some of my other clients and some of the people I've spoken to, they're like, yeah, no. If I get butterflies, I'm out. And I kind of was like, I know why I'm out, but why are you out? And they said the same thing that I did. It was like, I know what it feels like now after dating all of these icky people, that I know what it feels like when my body's telling me to run. And sometimes those butterflies are not green flags. Sometimes they are warning signs. They're telling your body going, ooh, no, we've been here before, run. Now, that's not all the time. Sometimes you can get into a great relationship and still feel so triggered by the things that they're doing that has nothing to do with them and everything to do with your past, and you can sabotage that and mess something really good up because you weren't ready in the beginning. Okay. So, not saying there's one perfect way to do this, but start paying attention to what that safety feels like, because love might feel boring at first. And it may be confusing to you and maybe like, well, if I'm bored and I'm not fulfilled, then I should leave. Been there. No, you don't leave. You learn. This isn't boring. It's safe. And from someone who's grown up in a very chaotic, very toxic household and had tons of terrible relationships, you realize, okay, got it. Noted. Got it. Okay, this isn't working. I'm noticing what I'm liking, what I'm not liking. And you have to realize that sometimes when you come from a very traumatic relationship, that boring is peaceful. You just don't realize it yet. And when you do, it's a breath of fresh air. It took me a while, but I got there and I realized, okay, not only am I loved and supported, but I'm out here asking for this passion that wasn't passion. When I first started dating my husband, who's my husband now, but I literally was like so confused. I was like, why aren't you yelling at me? Like, why aren't you screaming at me? Like, why aren't you gaslighting me? Why aren't you making me feel small? Like, why aren't we, like, where's the passion? And I was considering literal fighting and screaming to be passion, because I grew up with people being like, oh, you fight, it's whatever, it's just what you do with your partner. No, you don't. Yes, you argue, but there's a difference between an argument or a heavy conversation and then a full-on fighting, okay? So notice what feels like safety. Define for you what safety feels like, because it's going to feel different for me than it is to you. We have different nervous systems and we have different experiences and different patterns, and that's okay. So those butterflies, just remember, is this really safe? Like, truly, like, close your eyes, allow your logic brain to just take a back seat and ask the heart, ask the body. The heart's very wise. It knows. It knows. That's why there's the book, The Body Keeps Score. It does. It knows things before the logic brain catches on. Okay, so ask myself, are these butterflies or are these warning signs? And don't even judge yourself. Allow yourself to just be curious and love yourself through this process, because it's scary as hell to step out of that familiar hell and into this very, very uncomfortable heaven. So yes, it's pretty on the outside and it's like, oh yay, a new relationship, blah. It's exciting, but your nervous system's going, nope, not for me. I'm staying with what I know. And it's going to take time to re-pattern and step out of these things that you have been so wired into being used to. Okay. So what does safe feel like in my body? Safety, let me tell you, if you're like, I have no idea, Gabby, it's okay. I didn't either for a long time. But safety feels like soft body, soft belly. Have you ever noticed when you're really anxious, your stomach is just so tight? Those are where the butterflies come. They're in the gut, which is like, you gotta pay attention, truly, because you don't know sometimes. And sometimes excitement and anxiety can feel really similar to the body because the heart rate goes up. It's like the same exact process, but a different label, if you will. So soft belly, regulated breath. You're not racing, like, what are they doing? Do I need to talk to them? Why aren't they texting me back? Like, you're calm, you're chilling. You have this sense of just confidence. Like, I don't need to perform. I know what's going on. This is what it is. Like, this is love. And it's going to take some time. Again, like, truly, you're not broken for trying to figure it out. You're not broken for sabotaging a good connection. If you were like, ooh, called me out, Gabs, that's okay. I did it too. I've had multiple good people leave because they're like, look, you're triggered, you're defensive, you shut down, you don't communicate. And they're right. I did all those things because that's what I knew. I watched both of my parents shut down, be incredibly mean to each other, like scream and fight and blood and cops. And it was awful. And they did that for 22 years. So that's my entire life. I mean, my parents didn't even split until I was like 16. And by then, my mom had checked out. She was drinking, she was smoking, she was letting me drink and smoke because as a kid, I was like, fuck yeah, she's treating me like an adult. But no, she was backlashing. She was drinking and coping and dealing with her own trauma. I mean, I couldn't imagine being married to a narcissistic, horrible asshole for 22 years and then trying to rewire all of that. So, like, I get it. Totally get it. But just know that's why it happens. It's because sometimes we're just conditioned. We just do what we know. And you know what? Someone around you probably showed you this version of love, and now you're confused, and that's okay. So Figure out what it feels like, figure out what it looks like for you, and choose based on how they make you feel, okay? Not how badly you want them. If you want them so bad and you're obsessed with them, like that might be attachment, that might be lust. That's not real love, okay? So, how do you feel when they don't text you back? Do you feel safe or do you freak out? Can you bring yourself to allowing yourself to just be you without spiraling in front of them afterwards? Truly. And if you're sitting there like, oh my God, I do all these things. No, we're not judging. We're being aware. We're observing. Okay? If you can feel safe when you're not texting them, that's a great sign. That's a green flag. Okay? Can you truly be yourself, like I was saying, around them and not freak out afterwards? That's a green flag. Okay? When you're attracting this love, not chasing it, chasing is a red flag. You shouldn't have to chase love. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And if someone's not willing to give it to you, that's okay. Someone else will. Because sometimes, like I've mentioned in other podcasts, it's not that we're doing anything wrong or asking for too much. It's simply that we're asking the wrong person. Okay? So the green flag is attracting that love, not chasing it. Okay? So let's get into a few journal prompts here. This is where I was like, get your notebook out, get your pen, pause me, literally go get it. I'll wait. So now that you got your pen, your notebook, all of that, let's ponder. Now, before I even ask you these questions, whatever comes up, allow it to just come up. Please don't judge yourself. And you know what? If you judge yourself, that's okay too. But try not to. If you judge yourself, pause and be like, why am I judging myself here? Isn't this part of the process to find what I really want? Yes, it is. So just saying, do you feel how you feel? And honestly, if you want to talk to me about these journal prompts, text me, like message me on Instagram and be like, this is the specific thing that I got from your podcast. And these are my journal prompts. Like, tell me everything, word vomit, if you will, because sometimes you just need to kind of speak those things out loud and then sort through the mess and then go, okay, I like this, I like this, I like this, and the rest can go. Okay? So let's get into it. Question number 1. What part of me is still choosing what feels familiar over what feels safe? Now, for example, if you are picking fights and shutting down, or they're doing that, and you're like, man, I've been here before, and your body's starting to feel anxious, listen to those cues. Remember, those green flags, those butterflies, they're not always green flags. Sometimes they're warning signs. So what is it? What part of me? Simply. Or parts. There could be many parts. Could be the inner child wants to feel love. Could be the adult that was abused and cheated on. It could be the teenager part who, always wanted a love like that. That's okay. Just ask, like, what part of me is still choosing that familiarity over something new? Okay. Number 2, who in my life makes me feel calm, steady, seen, and why? Don't just drop a name out there. What about what they do makes you feel seen and heard? And why do those things make you feel seen and heard? Write it down. Okay. Number 3, what is the difference between being chosen and feeling safe? That's a good one. That's a great one. And if you're like, I don't know, ask. Or just let the pen hit the paper and just word vomit until something figures itself out. Okay? There's no perfect way to find the love of your life. There's only ways that have worked for myself and for my clients and for the people around me. We are all doing what we know. And that's part of the problem is we're just simply following what we know instead of questioning the process and being like, is this really happiness? Is this really what I want and I deserve? Is this really love? Because if it's not, no one's going to change it but you. Okay? So ponder these questions, write them down, reflect on them, and really sit with that. And an extra fun little idea is if you feel like you are attached to this person or you're feeling like you're going through these patterns that are simply familiar, write down, what is an ideal partner? What do I want? Do I want them to be funny and loving and kind and caring? Do I want them to, I don't know, whatever. I'm not even going to give you ideas. I'm going to pause there and let you think about it because it matters to you and what you want is different from the things I want. Okay? So that's what I got for you guys today. If this podcast landed in your gut and just cracked open a truth that you've been avoiding, good. Even if you're crying, even if you're spiraling, even if you're like, oh my God, what the hell have I done? That's okay. This level of awareness is the first step to anything. You can't change or improve anything unless you know where you're at. Then you can make a plan to know where you want to go. Okay? So lay it all out there, even if it's messy. It's okay. But if this deeply resonated with you, share it with somebody else. Because you never know. There might be somebody else who's struggling with just this, and you're like, oh my God, they need to hear this. And this is the only way the podcast grows. I don't have any ads or marketing team or anything like that. So, send it to a friend, post it on your story, and tag me on Instagram. It's gabbyroberts.coach. Okay? And we talk a lot about this inside my free community. So if you're like, okay, it's cool, I'm following your Instagram, but like I want to hang out with you and like the people who are going through the same things as me, this is your place. Aligned and Unapologetic. It's a free school group where we just untangle some of these patterns and we work through them and we really focus on attracting the love that we deserve, not settling for less. Okay? So if you're ready to go deeper, shoot me a message, send me a screenshot, join my community, whatever. I'm here for you. Okay? I'm going to leave you the same way I leave you every time. Be fearless, be free, and do it your way, even if it's messy.